Well, anyway, I'm back finally after a while, after a long time. I haven't been making any videos, haven't been logging. We just started back up. I'm gonna try to make a video today. It's not the greatest day. See, it's like sky's gray, it's snowing a little. Last night it was probably, I don't know, -1 or -2, and right now it's probably about 10 degrees. And the skidder, I didn't run the skidder yet. I wasn't here yesterday. It was Saturday. Today's Sunday. I shouldn't even be here today. I was supposed to warm up next week. I think today's the 3rd of January, and we've probably been over here for a week and a half, but I had quite a few problems when I started up. So right here, you'll see there's a new starter. Put a new starter in this because I'd last run it in October. A guy had bought a couple loads of firewood and I'd run it pushing up the firewood to the trucker. But when I came over here probably the week before Christmas and was getting ready to get going, so we tried to get this road froze in. And I went to start it, and it had been pretty cold the night before, and it just went click, click. So I tried crossing the terminals on the solenoid, and still nothing. So I thought, well, maybe the batteries are weak. So I put my truck on there, jump started it. Probably was on there 20 minutes, and didn't help at all. So I said, well, the batteries are no good then. So I went, had a couple more at home. So next time I came down, I brought them, threw them in there, same thing. Well, I pulled the starter and went over to, well, the Mennonites over in Morrisville. They got a starter rebuilding place, and he tested it and it wasn't any good. Something was wrong with it, so I bought it. He had one there, so I bought it. It's a gear reduction starter anyway. So that's how that all started. And plus, I'd also bought a big building in New York at tax sale. It was I don't know, in October, but none of the paperwork or anything came through until November. And so around the end of November, I ended up going down there for a week and getting some boards on the windows, fixing a roof. I mean, you can check, I got a video. I made a video about the building when I first bought it, walked around it, walked through it for the first time. And I'll link it in the description of this one. But anyway, so that was the first week of December. And then we got over here and it was warm, and then it was cold, and so we're going now. We got a road way out to the back there. You thought last year's skid was long. This year's skid is really long. So I don't know how it's all gonna go. Takes quite a while to get out there right now. The road is just barely starting to harden up. So it's been quite the deal with that road. You know, the foresters got us putting all these poles in this road, and you know, you can't make no money when you're working on roads, but on the other hand, you got to have decent roads if you're gonna pull wood, especially from that fire. So anyways, you'll see this skid's long. I brought a GPS to see if I can the forester said a maximum skid distance of 1 mile. It seems longer than 1 mile to me, but of course I'm going slow because the road is rough. So I brought a GPS, and we're gonna see just how long it is. We're gonna try to get this John Deere started. It's been a couple days since she run. It was probably -1 last night, which isn't too bad. It's about 11 degrees now, so we're gonna try to get it started up and head up in the woods. Well, that ain't so good. started up after a whole bunch of cranking, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's why you had to replace the starter. And probably, you know, because I cranked it so much last year when it was cold. But usually Rob's out here and we use this generator to plug it in and heat it up. So usually I don't have to crank it that much, but it isn't good to crank it that much. I was thinking about giving it a shot of vitamin E, but I don't know. I've rebuilt that engine probably 5,000 hours ago, and I've never given it a shot of vitamin E since then. And I always used to give everything tons of vitamin E, and I don't know, I wasn't good for it. Two different engines ended up having broken rings. That skidder, my 640D, ended up having broken rings, and then the 540B that I sold ended up having broken rings, so I had to rebuild both those engines. So I don't know, but right there we got old Smokey, and Smokey's addicted to vitamin E. She loves it. So, and I don't know, I mean, knock on wood, I've never had problems, but that's an old 855 Cummins in there, so small cam. So I mean, those are kind of bulletproof. But yeah, I brought it down because last year we were having problems with the trucker. He didn't like those piles like that, so we started sorting out the wood with the skidder. We cut off the firewood and push it in one pile, and then pull the logs up, cut them up, and push them in another pile. So that takes a lot of time, and it still doesn't come out that great. So I brought that old smoking truck down here and to sort the wood. But anyway, so now it's got problems though. I brought it down, and these roads are so bad, and this truck is so old that it ended up breaking the air tank off of it. And so that one's held on by a ratchet strap, and then the other one has got all full of rust and got a hole in it, was leaking. So I pulled that other one off, and then of course the batteries, I had to buy new batteries for it, and them batteries are pretty pricey. It takes 2 of them. So yeah, I'm already behind with this thing. So I got the air tank over on the other side, bought a new air tank, but it's been so cold that I haven't had enough ambition to put it on. It's nothing like tinkering on things when it's freezing cold. So yeah, there's the air tank. I put a bunch of the fittings on, had them looking the way they're supposed to. This one right here, I don't know if I did that or if it was already like that. It's compression fitting, so if I can get the nut started, it'll probably be all right, but if not, I'll have to buy a new one. But that tank was a little different. It only had 2 ports there, or the other one had 3, but that was something they had in stock, and they would have had to order the other one if they could even get it. So yeah, hopefully this week we're supposed to see a little bit of a warm-up. So probably gonna get this truck going and pick through the piles and sort them out, because the trucker, his truck is down for a week. He's getting suspension work done on it. So if I get these sorted out this week, and then next week probably could ship some wood and maybe see some money from this operation. It's usually how it goes when you first start up. It's probably usually 3 weeks before you start getting paid, sometimes a month. But it goes into the mud season. You'll be stopped for a couple weeks and you'll still be getting checks. What I'm gonna do is pull this skidder up, fuel it up, throw the saws on it, and head up in the woods. know, they were pretty close, I guess. I don't know why that looks like a straight line. I know we didn't drive in a straight line, so I don't know if this GPS is, I don't know, this is an old GPS. Well, now it don't look so straight. It sure isn't straight now. So I don't know why it says 1.1 mile, because it's got to be, I don't know how to run this thing very good. It's been years. But yeah, that's definitely not straight now. Anyway, so I don't know, it's 1.1 miles according to this GPS. I think that's straight line, but I don't know, maybe I'll look at it once I'm back home and I ain't freezing. Okay, well, anyway, so here's the plan, I guess. I started this patch cut the other day, and it's almost done. There's a few good ones in here, but they really aren't as good. They don't open up as good as I thought when I first walked the job. But anyway, so the plan today, trying to get a hitch together here to so I'm gonna start, I think, right here with these two smaller sugar maples, and then there's a yellow birch right there. He's got that thing marked for a log. I don't know, it's pretty ugly. Maybe you'll get some bony logs out of it. And then, I don't know, there's a yellow birch right there, or maybe that maple. I'm not sure. That yellow birch up right there has got a dead top in it, so who knows how valuable that thing is. And then there's one down over there from the other day, and then there's that one right there, kind of in front of my skidder. I think that'll probably be hitch enough. I don't know. But I'm just getting back into this, actually. I've been way out of shape. I am way out of shape for this logging. Haven't done it since last winter. Yeah, we're gonna see what we can get done, see what kind of hitch we can get together and get her down to the landing. right, this one right here, getting greedy now. This one's one of them tricky ones. Part of it leans that way, but the top is right over there, but so I don't know. These ones always tricky. So I'm gonna try to cut it all out over here so there's not a lot holding. And then come around down here and leave a bigger hinge down here to try to pull it down in there. We'll see how it goes. This top is half dead. Well, these GoPros hate the cold. Well, yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but the top on that tree up there kind of leans up the hill. It's kind of dead, but I want it to go right down in there. Right down in there. So, well, hopefully it's all gonna work. Go. And I headed out. Thought it would go. Still had a little too much hinge holding right up here. It's down right where I wanted it. Down the other day, and man, I probably shouldn't have done that. This thing's jumpy. I gotta buy new bars. I got some new chains the other day. Them went up to like $24 a piece if you buy 4. I don't know, them bars are over, they're like 65. I don't know, price of this stuff's getting ridiculous, but I gotta invest in some new bars. This one hooked up. I'm gonna drag this whole mess ahead, and then I'll finish limbing it. And there's one tree down over there from the other day, and then I got a big maple I'm gonna cut, and that should about do it. that one low and on the low side of that stump in the hopes it's going to pull it up around that stump rather than getting hung up on the root there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll pull that one up to here. Hired out over that way, so I think I want to put it kind of out towards where we just pulled out of, so probably right across this one and across the ends of those. I want to stay on the high side of that stump if I can, so it's leaning, so I got to be the way my saw is cut, and I don't know if I can stay ahead of it, so I'm going to cut out the center of the hinge a little, I think. All right, let's see what happens. If she starts splitting, I'm bailing. I'm gonna cut the center of that hinge out a little. got us a pretty big hitch here. Not too bad. 6 trees. Probably could have pulled that little piece, but it wouldn't have come around there too good. I gotta go down there anyway and get that little one. But anyways, yeah, so this is a pretty good turn. We're gonna get this thing headed to landing. Cut it up and get on out of here. right, today's finally done. What a long one it was. We just barely beat the dark, and that skidder doesn't have any lights, so I was rushing at the end a little bit to get out. Yeah, so we brought down, I don't know, a bunch of logs, a little bit of firewood, bunch of logs, some decent ones, some ain't so nice, but all in all, it was a pretty good day. And I'm about beat, so anyways, I'm about beat, so I'm gonna get headed on down the road, and hopefully we'll be able to get another video in a week or so. And anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.